All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, February 21st, 2022. This morning, we're going to talk about not living a surface level life. So often in this world, man, I see people just living on the surface in every aspect of their life. They never really go all in. They never really experience what it's like to look below the surface in any situation. And this leads to a lot of issues for people. It leads to a lot of people being disappointed and not getting what they expected. It leads to a lot of people ending up in scenarios that they don't have any business being in. Ends up with people ending up with the wrong people in their life. So many different varieties of things that happen when you're living a surface level life, meaning your level of awareness is only on the surface. It doesn't actually detect anything beyond that. And so that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Happy Monday to you. I hope you guys are having an awesome morning. I am off to a great week so far. I got up early this morning, headed to the gym, even when I didn't feel like it. Almost, for those of you out there who have skipped a day, I almost skipped a day. So you can feel normal in your own lives. Everybody does it, but I overcame it this morning. So I'm off to a great start for the week. Got so much on my plate this week, and I'm so excited about all the things that we've got going on. I'll be headed to Charlotte on Wednesday for the National Payment Expo, which is pretty exciting. Get to see a bunch of people from our industry and interact with them, get some more contractors to help us out here at the Pavement Group. So I'm excited to be able to interact with our team, interact with all the other contractors that we don't get to spend a lot of time with in person. So that's pretty exciting to be able to do this week. But before that happens, I want to dig into this topic with you guys. It's been on my mind for a while. I've been watching most of this year. I've been less vocal on social media than normal. And that is on purpose. I've been just, kind of sitting back, paying attention to try to figure out, what is actually going on out there in the world? What are people struggling with? What are people not seeing that they should be seeing? And this topic, living a surface level life, is one of the things that comes to my mind all the time. And it has definitely come to my mind a lot recently. And so I wanted to talk with you guys about it this morning. And what I mean by stop living a surface level life, you have to work on your own awareness. You have to work on the things that you are doing that are mistakes, right? And we all have those things in our lives. I look back at the last year and how much I have personally grown in my awareness. Now, does that mean that I have arrived at some destination? No. But what it does mean is that we have to heighten our level of awareness. We have to get below the surface of all the things that are going on in the world today so that we can actually understand where we are from an awareness standpoint in the first place. Because as we learn, as we collect knowledge and implement that knowledge into the behaviors that we exhibit every single day, we start to get a little bit more aware day by day by day. When we heighten our awareness, we start to realize how many things in the world are not as they seem. How many things in the world we actually find ourselves in a trap that we don't belong in as a result of our own lack of awareness. And so when you live a surface level life, when you're just going day to day and good enough is good enough, and you're not really holding yourself accountable to the things that you don't do, and you're not really aware of the decisions that you're making, you end up in these places that you don't belong. You end up in situations in your own life, maybe in your company, maybe in your marriage, that you don't belong because you have a lack of awareness. And you have to stop, guys, living a surface level life. You got to go in deep on yourself. You got to go in deep on all the situations around you. Now, I'm not telling you to become one of these people that is skeptical of everything. What I am telling you is to not fall in the trap of seeing a commercial on television and going and buying something instantaneously, because that's the emotional response to what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're seeing. Think about that. How often do you do that? How often do you make a decision because you have pain or discomfort right now in a moment, and you think that somehow something else that you can buy, acquire, or a relationship that you can establish somehow is going to fix that? And here's what I'm going to tell you guys. There is no relationship. There is no program. There is no one person. There is no one thing that can fix you living a surface level life. What it takes to live an incredibly fulfilled life is it takes putting in the work on yourself. It takes being aware at a new level of the things that are going on around you, what that actually looks like, and never, ever, ever sacrificing your own values to be part of something. This is something that I've learned in the last year that has changed the way that I look at so many different things. I will not sacrifice my values for any amount of money, any amount of time, any amount of anything in order to be part of something, in order to have a friend, quote friend, who is in a powerful position by other people's standards, right? By the way that the world views somebody, they're in a position of influence, but they don't match my values. They will not be part of my life. Doesn't make them a bad person and me a better person. It doesn't mean any of that. But what I'm telling you guys is that when you find this heightened sense of awareness, you're going to see things that today you don't see. You're going to read things that look completely different than they did a year ago. You're going to look on social media and you're going to see all the things that are wrong that you didn't see before. And so my mission this year is to help all of you guys achieve that heightened level of awareness. We're going to unpack how it works, how you can do that, what are the steps you need to take to be able to actually achieve that heightened level of awareness, and how you can stop living a surface level life, going through the motions, thinking there's some magic pill out there or some silver bullet that can change your life. If you want to know what can change your life, find a mirror, walk up to it and look into it. Your decisions will change your life. And when you achieve a heightened level of awareness and you stop ending up as a fan of everything out there, there's so much marketing in today's world, guys. So much really good marketing. But what is behind that marketing lacks values. It lacks alignment with your own life and your own vision and mission. It lacks all the things that you actually want in life. And what it will give you is a temporary feeling of fulfillment that will only lead to disappointment. It is very similar to the feeling that you have when you drink alcohol. You feel great in the moment. And then the next day, how do you feel? Disappointed. All the negative emotions that come with that, right? This is how life works, guys. You end up in situations by living on the surface and never really digging, only taking the marketing that somebody gives you, never really looking at the real scenario. You end up in situations you're not supposed to be in. It only takes a couple of those decisions for you to have to work really hard to kind of get back to where you were, right? To get back to where you belong, to find that tribe of people that actually is where you belong, that do share your values. So ask yourself that question. Are you living on the surface of life today? Are you living on the surface? Or are you functioning with a higher level of awareness than you ever have? How do you achieve a higher level of awareness? Ask yourself this question. How do I achieve it? Well, I will tell you how it's worked for me. I have watched less television, almost no television. I have read more books. I've blocked out all the noise, all the marketing, all the things that people are trying to sell you on. I've blocked all of that out. And that quiet time that I've been able to spend with myself, reading, studying, exploring, just spending quiet time processing what's going on in the world around me, it's made things crystal clear to me. And so when you ask yourself, what is possible? What can you do in your life? What can you actually achieve in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months? You will not achieve what you are actually capable of, what God has given you the potential to achieve. You will not achieve if you live a surface level life. This is why faith is such an important part of my life. This is why spending time in my faith is so important, because it grounds me. It gets me off of the surface. There's so much stuff on the surface of life. So much noise. Social media is one of those examples. If you allow social media to use you and you are not using social media, you will lose in life. You will lose a lot of momentum. You will lose a lot of time. You will lose in ways that you cannot measure. But if you learn how to use social media to network, to meet the right people, to meet those people that actually do share your values, you will win big. But you got to get off of the surface to do that. You got to get deep in relationships. You got to actually meet people that you end up becoming real friends with, that you actually know something about. Not that are able to sell you some ad or some idea of who they are, what they are, and how they operate. Because that's what it is. When you look below the surface, you will figure everything out. But you have to be patient to do that. I have learned the power of patience. I was never a patient person. But I've learned that if you wait long enough, the world will show you everything. People will show you who they really are. The world will show you what every scenario actually is. So never be in a hurry. Now, I'm not telling you to go slow. I'm telling you to not rush into anything. Actually watch what happens. And when you get that feeling in your gut, when you get off of the surface and you start to dig, trust it. Because what's going on in the world today, guys, is marketing is faster than it's ever been. There's ways for people to absolutely cover you up with marketing and messages and ideas that make you feel inadequate, that maybe those things can go away if you just buy this or do that or take this program or eat this particular meal plan, whatever it is. The world is full of people trying to sell you a shortcut. There's no shortcut to life, guys. Shortcuts are surface level ideas that will leave you disappointed, and they will leave you in this cycle that continuously repeats itself until you feel defeated. But if you take the long way, if you constantly look for the more difficult way, the more stable way, the way to actually build a foundation in your life, and you look to those who actually are doing that themselves for advice, man, life can go really, really fast. You can accomplish almost anything you've ever wanted to accomplish in a very short period of time. But it comes down to, guys, you got to stop living on the surface. You got to stand deep rooted in your values, in your own mission, and executing on your own vision. And I have not been perfect at it by any means. But I can tell you this, I have a heightened sense of awareness of what is going on in this world, and I'm going to help you guys have that same sense of awareness. I'm going to give you some books to read. I'm going to give you some guidance on how you can actually execute this in your own life. And when you achieve that level of awareness, man, a lot of things are going to change in your life. The people around you might change. You might realize that you made some significant mistakes in who you chose to do XYZ with in your life. But the good news is you'll have every opportunity to fix it. You'll have every opportunity to turn that around and turn it into a victory. Turn it into a learning lesson that you don't have to repeat. And you'll carry that lesson with you for the rest of your life, but you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest about that gut feeling that you have ignored because you didn't want to be wrong. It's happened to me. It's happened to me many times. But when you can get off of the surface and you can live a life of deep relationships, of real relationships, not relationships that somebody just wants something from you, but real relationships, real friendships that have patience, and real business relationships that no matter what happens, they will last the test of time. Those are the only relationships that I'm interested in right now. All the other stuff, all the other things that people want from you or you want from them that are just transactional, those days are over for me. And I hope that they're over for you as well. I hope that today, maybe you can make that decision that you don't want to live like that anymore. Stop living a surface level life, guys. Go all in. Figure out what that is. Maybe you might have to spend some time figuring out what it is that you want to go all in on. Are you in the right place? Do you need a new environment to be in so that you can be what you were actually supposed to be? If that's the case, think about it, man. Think about it. Our decisions in life are what create our legacy, our life, everything about us. It's tied to the decisions that we make. Those relationships, those people we spend time with, it's everything. Don't underestimate it. Take the time to figure this out in your life, guys. I promise you, it'll be the best investment of time you've ever made. I get the pleasure of waking up almost every single day the happiest guy in the world. Life's not perfect. There's certainly days that aren't great, but I can tell you that there are very few and far between anymore that I don't wake up feeling absolutely incredible for who I get to do life with, what I get to do every day, the wife that I have, the children that I have, all engineered by design, guys. It's not by accident, but you can't get that if you're living on the surface. You can't have it. And you can't have it if you just take everything that's put in front of you and buy it or look for the shortcut, or you fall into the trap of marketing. You fall into somebody's funnel, if you will. How many of you have purchased something or built a relationship because you thought somebody was some way and it just didn't turn out the way that you thought? If that's the case, in that moment, you were living on the surface. I've been there hundreds of times. Lots of people have come and gone in my life because of my lack of awareness in that moment, right? And so our job together this year is going to be to work on that, to get off of the surface, to get in the details, man, and to help guide you guys to what I get to experience every day. Appreciate you guys being here. Love you guys. I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.